Hello everyone, I'm Shashi on the platform Women Dialogue. As you know, I always bring women from different part of the world and as we are carrying out our mission globally. So in this same series, we are connecting today with our very famous speaker and very famous person who has done lots of work, and we will get to know more what kind of work she is doing, what she is creating globally, the change and the mission. So let's join our hands together and welcome our today's speaker, Mansi. She is joining us from currently in from New Delhi, but she is living in UK and other part of the world as well. So welcome, Mansi, on this platform.
Thank you so much, Shashi. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm excited to be on this platform and Women Dialogues, such a great initiative, name. So, congratulations to you for putting it together. And yeah, so happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you, Mansi, for joining our mission. As I always really feel proud when women globally, they are connecting, they are joining, and they are creating voice, not for themselves, but for others. Those are silent and those are looking for some motivation and inspiration. So in the same series, we are connecting with you today. And before we start, I would like to know, or I would like to uh, ask, please introduce yourself because you have lots of work and I would like to hear from your
Uh,
side. Let our audience know about
uh,
you, as you are in UN, in globally, lot of work for doing for mental health, but it would be nice if you can share from your side.
Thank you, Shashi. It's very tricky when somebody asks me to make introductions. The only reason because I am a global figure and I'm on a global platform, so it's very hard for me to say that when even when somebody asks me, Mansi, where are you from? I find that difficult to answer to that also because currently I'm in New Delhi. I'm working around here. I'm originally from United Kingdom. I've lived there for 14, 15 years of my life. My company is established in the United States. I'm also associated with the UN. So I think now I've changed it to I am a global person. I don't live in one single place or country. So I belong to the world. That is how I put it as. And I think our platforms are, all created towards serving humanity in various ways. Um,
Mhm.
so to make initial introductions, I'm Mansi Dulekia. I'm the CEO and founder of GMHA, which is Global Mental Health Association. It's established in the United States, and we work towards raising mental health awareness around the world. We are currently also trying to associate with the UNESCO, with the United Nations, and several other organizations who work towards serving humanity. Our entire mission is to create a mentally fit society, whichever country, place, state, or origin you are in, but that is what we are looking to build. So we are striving hard to bring changes in the education systems, in the way, breaking barriers, breaking the stigma surrounding the mental health, and trying to kind of bring about more conversations around it. So, Shashi, you'll have to pardon me if the conversation today surrounds completely around mental health because that is what I'm passionate about. And so, to give some perspective, I am a pharmacologist, I'm a psychologist, I'm certified from University of Cambridge in young people and mental health. And currently I'm in New Delhi, where we are trying to bring about an education revolution, where we are trying to integrate emotional intelligence
Mhm.
across the country, bringing it in various schools and universities as a path to kind of, create preventative mental health care platforms.
Right.
So that I think it's too late when a person suffers through anxiety and depression, and then for them to work on it and come out of it is a difficult path. So we would rather see to it that that should not happen in the first place, and how we can kind of help the society in that way that they are self empowered. I am all about self empowerment. We have created our tools and curriculums and everything surrounding the fact that how you can look after yourself, because that is
Right.
what I believe in.
Right.
I have suffered myself through anxiety and depression for a very long time in my life, about 10 years, which is a very long span. And at the end of it, eventually I found that the only way that you can come out of it is if you work on yourself.
Mm.
There is no magic pill out there in the world. For
Right.
example, if you have fever, you take a paracetamol and you will feel better in a few hours. But I mean, when it comes to mental health, if you're feeling down, there is no magic pill that is going to make you feel better until and unless you work on yourself.
Right.
So that is
Yeah.
how it is.
So, Mansi, when we are talking about it, you are really bringing lots of interesting topic, lots of movements, and the story, and those are how they impacted you, how you move forward by understanding what exactly it seems like. And I think it's very important. Today we are talking about mental health. While considering in current scenario global pandemic, so before starting about your work, about your work journey, let's start by hearing about your life story and your how your life story. We got little glimpse about how in maybe a few years you got little those movements which no, I don't want anybody should face, but maybe those moments at same time they taught you something, right? So let's hear about your life story.
So basically, I was born and brought up in India, and I finished my graduation, etc., in India. Then I went to study in London. I did my master's there, and then I got married there. So I was settled there for a very long time. But unfortunately, I had an abusive marriage, and things didn't last. And so I'm divorced. But the point behind all of that is the strain that a girl goes through, when you
Yeah.
are going through all those different phases in life, and the
Right.
mental strain that you go through as well. That is something which is very hard to get over with. Because when you step into a new society, a new family, a new community, there are a lot of things that we leave behind, and there
Mm.
are a lot of things that we look forward into you know
Mm.
there's
Mhm.
a certain mindset that we come with as well when you enter into a new union today. I mean, when the youngsters, when people are getting married, they both have expectations from their ends.
Mhm.
And when those are not met, or when something goes wrong down the line, or I mean, unfortunately, abuse is something that you just cannot take, whether it is verbal, whether it is physical, any sort of abuse. So I think that is a big no, and that should be a red flag for any woman who is living
Right.
on this earth.
Right.
Because you should have your own certain core values that you live by. That,
Right.
yes, we do agree that compromises and etc, such kind of situations will arise where you will have to let your guard down, and you will have to go with the flow kind of situation. But then you should know that these are your boundaries. Boundaries is something that, again, I'm very passionate talking about, because women don't understand boundaries. And society also has a certain mindset where they don't understand boundaries. If you say that this is how much I can do right now, they will term you either as selfish, either as arrogant, either as all those labels come along with it.
Yes.
But see,
Yes.
the thing is that those labels are something. I mean, if you are self aware of yourself, if you think yourself apart from put yourself apart from those labels, then it is you looking after yourself, and there is nothing wrong in that. um, a very small example. If you are hungry, you're going to sit down and eat your food, right? Will you take permission from anybody else that I'm hungry, whether should I eat or not eat? You are
Right.
not. When you
Yeah.
are breathing is essential for your survival, right? Are you going to take permission for breathing? Are you going to take permission for eating? So then why do you need permission, to look after your own mental health?
Right.
So these are some things, I think, some examples, put your minds into perspective, that what it is about.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So when we are talking about your life journey, and you shared few after your, in youthness or in adulthood you had some those experiences, but I believe those give you sense also, those give you a perspective, and as a developing yourself a strong woman who is passionate to talk openly about mental health, what means to be creating a boundary, and all about like developing women empowerment in sort of, I believe. So Mansi, when we are talking about it, can you provide some insight on your early journey in your career, the challenges you faced as a female, because as we are talking about, you mentioned like people put the label selfish and this and that, right? So what kind of challenges and all, or how was your career, early career journey started?
So, when I finished my master's in London, and this was 14, 15 years ago, we are talking about,
Mm,
when, racism was also something which you would face anywhere when you go outside, when you step outside of your own comfort zone or countries.
mm-hmm,
There were places in London as well, which were completely white dominated areas. And I, studied in one of those areas. And
mm-hmm,
again, those sort of cultures or those sort of things come into place. And no matter how much, developed as a country you are, but the mindset of the people is not developed.
mm,
So that is where the problem comes. However,
right.
United Kingdom today is termed as, has been one of the most developed countries so far. And it's very wealthy. It has done a lot of things, a lot of initiatives for its people, respecting all of that. But I mean, despite all of that, there are some things which still exist in the society. There is
Mm-hmm,
stigma around brown people. There is racism. So all those challenges I'd also faced early on in my career and in my life. Then when you
mm-hmm,
talk about challenges as a woman, I think
mm-hmm,
it's a very, very harsh world out there for women. You know,
mm,
um, for a very small example. So now when I came to India in 2019, I just packed my bags, I left the country and I came here. And when I came here, so I wanted to start an entrepreneurship journey, because I had a vision in my head that what I
right,
want to create and how I want to do it. I was very
right,
clear in my path that this is what I want.
right.
And along the way, you wouldn't believe it, Shashi, questions were raised and asked so many times by millions of people surrounding you. You
Mm,
are a single woman, how are you going to create such a platform? I mean,
mm,
you don't know anybody here, you don't have any contacts here. Uh, you it's like you are entering into a world where there are so many barriers already lined up for you. And
mm,
forget about your own mindset or vision, but first you have to think that how you're going to overcome all those barriers as a woman. See, because what happens as a woman also in India, unfortunately, the mindset is such, it's a male dominated society, and there is no doubt about it. When we openly speak on platforms like this, you have to have the courage to say that you're living in a male dominated society. Because
right.
when you come out and when you speak about it, that is how you're going to create awareness.
Mm,
When I have spoken on, I've spoken on prevention of child abuse panels, I've spoken on women empowerment panels. I've also had debates with people when people say that what is the need for women empowerment, and I'm
mm,
like, really, you think that there
mm,
is no need for women empowerment? And see, so the concepts are not clear in the mind, and
mm,
people just think that there are already so many women CEOs, there are already so many women related initiatives which are going on, etc. There is a global movement
right.
for women to succeed, etc. But see, when we put our files together to an investor, for example, that this is the kind of funding that I need to start my project or to do something,
Right.
versus the file that any male dominated company would put across, the funding would go to them. Do you know why?
Mm, mm,
See, there is a very certain kind of mindset here. Do you know why? Because I think somewhere along the way, there is that thought process in the head that how much can a woman do?
mm,
Because a woman is going to look after her house, a woman is going to look after her own health, a woman is going to, So I think there is this misconception somewhere that you can't do it all.
mm,
You can do it all. And that is the barrier that I want to break by speaking out that of course you can do it all. Maybe as a male you can't do it all because you are not emotionally healthy in that way where you can understand or multifunction your mind and heart together, but a woman can. So in
right.
fact women are assets to the society, which people don't realize.
Right.
To give you an example, so when I came to India, when I started this journey completely on my own, I did not know a single soul in the country. My parents were in the United States, my sister also
Mm,
lives there. I
mm,
didn't have anybody here. There's no family here as such. And when I came here and I started the company, I established the company in the US, and then I started talking to the educationists of the country, talking to the leading people of the country. Yes, it took me a while to, make my domain, mark my domain. But in last 1.5 year, today I am a name that every education institution knows. So you
Wonderful,
see,
wonderful.
so
That's
so
awesome.
that is a big that is a big thing. Today, when I was the invited speaker to the United Nations, and so all those friends from back then, from 2 years ago, who said that, what are you going to do, etc., and they were so surprised, and they were like, "That is magic! How did that happen?"
Hmm.
It's
This is
not
not
magic.
magic.
It's hard.
It's not
No,
magic.
it's not
Exactly.
magic.
Right.
It's hard work. I have
Mhm.
worked damn hard. I've worked like 20 hours a day non-stop. I've been working since last 2 to 3 years,
Right.
to try and, change, to try and bring a change that I can see, I can visualize it, that this
Mm-hmm.
change is going to empower women, youth, everybody in different ways. So
Mm-hmm.
I think nothing happens overnight. There is no such thing as magic. But yes, there is such thing as hard work. And the more you work hard, I think nothing can stop you then.
Right.
So
So,
that is
Mansi, when
that
we
is
are
something.
talking about your work, your challenges, and how bravely you overcome, how bravely you come up more strongly, I will say, by showing up your performance, by showing up your work, and as you mentioned, your company, everyone knows now, every educational institution know. So, do you think that in these time, currently, when we are talking about mental health, the COVID and the pandemic, people are isolated, especially the women. Uh, if we take it, Indian society, we can say, okay, some are working, some are not working, but they were even they are not working. They used to have their own time, right? And due to that isolation, due to the having more time, all everyone their workload has increased. So in the same way, how their mental health is uh, going to impact, definitely there is impact. So what way do you feel at these current times in your workplace, in your area, families are still facing some these kind of challenges, and if they are, what kind of strategies you are providing or you are would like to share?
So, Shashi, when the pandemic, so the second wave has hit us very badly in India,
Right.
as the entire world knows, right? So when this happened, like just 4 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
we put together quite a few initiatives where, we pulled our resources in, and we put together initiatives where we could provide support to people as much as possible. So
Mm-hmm.
one initiative was to open a 24/7 email support, because
Mm.
I think that was the easiest way and the fastest way where we could reach out to people and say that just write to us, whatever is bothering you or whatever kind of support that you need. Say, because mental health still in India has a lot of stigma surrounding it.
Yeah. Yeah.
People don't like to write their names, people don't like to use real names, people don't like to have video calls, people wouldn't,
Mhm.
so all of these things still exist here in the community, very very deep inside, it's rooted
Right.
inside. So
Right.
you have to understand that what kind of community you are living in, and then accordingly you offer them solutions.
Right.
I am very much a solution focused person.
Right.
I don't generally tend to dwell on the problems. I don't generally tend to waste time thinking about there are so many problems. Okay, what is the solution? What are we going to do about it?
Right.
So overnight, I mean, we put together a panel of about 20 to 25 psychologists, and I said that this is the 24/7 email support. So you just answer, write back to people, whoever writes to you.
Mm-hmm.
10 to I think 10 to 12 suicides we have stopped happening just by that email support in just
Wow.
last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So we had healthcare workers writing to us, we had doctors writing to us, we had lot of people writing to us, where students write to us as well, that we can't concentrate, we can't focus. So majority of the titles were, we're feeling very low or depressed.
Mm.
And then our people would write back saying that try all these things, and etc. And always we would get the email back, in, if not the next day, in a couple of days, that I tried a few things and thank you so much for helping me out, etc. One
Mm-hmm.
time I had a doctor write to us at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Mm.
Okay. So one of our psychologists, she answered back straight away. That is a system that we have created, that whenever you, I've done the slots so that whenever you get something, then you immediately write back. See,
Right,
because people are looking for support. And
right,
if they don't receive that support at that point in time, it's useless. You can't wait
right.
until morning to kind of write
Exactly.
back.
And this is all about
So when
mental
we,
health, and people are
yes,
particular, their processes keep going on. So if
cross,
particular
exactly.
time, if they are not getting that, they might can take
There's
any
no point.
right
There is
and
no
kind of
point.
yeah.
So when she wrote back at like 2:15 a.m., straight away wrote the email back, and she told me about it in the morning, that ma'am, we had received this kind of, it's a red flag. So I call it red flag. So I tell everybody, every morning you report the red flags to me so that we can take it forward. We can at least
Mhm.
ask them for more information, or for contact details or whatever, and then we can get in touch with them.
Right.
um so she goes, ma'am, it was a red flag, and I'm very concerned and worried, because she was, in that state of mind where she had just lost interest in life, because she had lost so many patients.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, we are
And she had
hearing,
lost,
this kind of
yeah.
things. Yeah.
and
Mhm.
and she had lost so many patients because of the lack of oxygen, because of the administrative failures, or whatever the reason be. But because she had, I mean, lost that, so she was in that state of mind where she needed support then and there. So then
Mhm.
next morning, I think around 11 or 12 in the morning, we heard back from her that, thank you for providing me support. And I was just feeling extremely demotivated and, stressed and all of that.
Right.
But now she's feeling better. So she goes, just reading your email made me feel a little bit warm in my heart, that, somebody's talking to me or reaching out to me. Sometimes all you have to do is provide a listening ear. There is nothing more a human needs at times.
Mhm.
Nobody
Right.
needs advice all the time, or nobody needs certain things. So that
So
is
those
one support
essentials.
that,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
so that is one support that we created. Second thing, what we did, what I'm currently also involved in is, I've done a fundraiser from United Kingdom, along with my support people there, and we have raised enough funds, so now we are feeding people every day, the stray people outside.
Mm.
So we, yesterday, for example, we sent out about 100 food kits, food packets, which all contain essentials, your daily essentials. About 20 items in there, and it would last them good over a month. So
Right.
because currently we are in lockdown here right now, so people don't have the means to earn,
Mhm.
or means to kind of look after themselves. So that is something that we are also involved in. Then we also have an Instagram page where I have about 80 volunteers who are looking after the page, and they are completely updating the resources all the time. So people actually write out to them that, can we find a bed here in Noida at this point in time, and then they send out verified helplines to them, or where it is available, and resources. I've had people actually, come and tell the volunteers that, forget the doctors, you are our gods.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just a support system. It's
Right.
not like we are doing anything. We are just connecting A to B. But right now, even that connecting A to B has become very difficult here. So that is the reason that we have had to create all these different kinds of support systems where we could, reach out to people in different ways.
Mhm.
So that is what you were asking me about. Apart from that, we've also done a lot of educational sessions in a lot of universities for free, addressed about, I think, more than 10,000 students in last 3 months. And yeah, trying to build an empowered mindset.
That's so important, and I think in the current scenario, when you are sharing and you are talking about all your work, it's really inspiring. So when we are talking about it, how you inspire people around you, and whom you consider your biggest influence in shaping your life journey.
See, honestly, Shashi, I don't have any role models. I don't have any, I don't believe in that. I don't know why, but I just don't. I just feel that every person has
Hmm.
their own journey,
Right.
and looking at other people's journey, and then trying to, yes, I mean, people do that. I'm not against that concept, but that concept does not work for me. So I
Hmm.
find my inspiration by reading books. I read a lot of books. I read a lot of journeys. I read about a lot of people who have worked for humanity. I'm also a big Sufi fan, so I also believe in Sufism a lot, and I read about them a lot as well, the core values, the principles. I am, an all for humanity person, if you want to call it that. So that is what inspires me, and I think reading stories about people helping people without a selfish motive in it, that is what inspires me.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's who I am.
So definitely, I can feel that the way you inspire other as well, I believe. So if you would like to share, as we hear about your work, you shared about your, uh, how your work impacted and saved someone's life. In the same manner, would you like to share some other story how you impacted or your work impacted other people?
I think the impact that we are currently trying to bring by bringing an educational revolution in a way, I think that will have some very long lasting effects. You
Mm.
know, when you are talking about self awareness, self reflection, how to motivate yourself, imbibe values of humanity, empathy, compassion, kindness, all of those things, it's value based education. And I think these values are currently lost in the society. People are, running behind the race of I don't know, I mean, coding. What is coding? Why does a 6-year old need to learn coding? So I think the society has completely lost perspective of how to bring their children up as well, in this race. It's a corporate race, and unfortunately it starts as young as 5 or 6 years old, which is ridiculous, which is like unimaginable to me. And I'm so grateful I come from a generation where I was playing in the sand, when I was 6 years old.
Mm.
So I think social media has balanced the good and the bad, to be honest. And apart from that, I think educational revolution is something which is very close to my heart. And we have had a lot of students, write to us. We have had a lot of feedback from various universities, various students, that we learned so much from this, and the kind of workshops that we do, etc. I think self awareness and self reflection are such tools that, for example, tomorrow, if you feel low or if you are down, and if you already know that how to motivate yourself, right? So how beautiful it is that you already know that. See, because I didn't know that. When I was
Right.
depressed at one point in time, I had no idea what to do about it. I would just cry and cry and cry for days on end, and I had
Mm.
no idea that, like, how to come out of it. I
Mm.
had my family or my people telling me that, you've become lazy. I was not lazy. I just had no motivation, that, like, I wanted to get up or do something. So
Right.
that understanding was not there. And, self empowerment was zero. Like, I had
Mm.
no idea at all that how should I come out of this.
Mm.
And me being such a solution focused person, when I did not know that, it caused more anxiety to me,
Right.
that why am I not finding a solution to this? What should I do about it?
So,
And I
Mansi,
think,
when we are talking about all these issues, the question comes here: How you thought developing your business or work? And when we are talking all those hurdles, so what hurdles you face specifically as a woman?
I think, like we previously discussed, as a woman, it's a male centric world. I'm sorry to say, but it is, and it is no offense to any of my male friends here or colleagues here or anybody else, but unfortunately, that is what it is.
Right.
So I think, yeah, the challenges faced were huge. Like I said, because I was a single woman, and when I came to this country, and people were, very much against me kind of doing anything.
Mm.
Um, I even didn't have that much support from, my own friends or whoever, because everybody was like, you have lived in London for so many years, you know nothing about the culture, the mindset, etc. today. And
Mm.
I always used to counter that argument by saying that I was born and brought up in that country. What are you talking about? Of course, I know that, what is the mindset, what is the culture, etc. So when you talk about forming the business, Shashi, as such, it was not about a business idea. It was more about, a revolution in the society. And for
Mm.
me personally, it was more about a cause to me that what I suffered through, I just did not want the same things to carry forward. It brings a kind of empowerment inside you when it
Mm.
motivates you in a different way. Today, when I'm working 20 to 22 hours a day, I'm only sleeping 3 to 4 hours every day because, and that is not a good thing. Please, guys, sleep is very, very important. 8 hours of sleep is a must. But today, when I'm passionately trying to even follow my, cycle, I don't feel tired. That is because I know in my heart that I'm working towards a cause. So
Mm.
it's more about the cause. It's less
Right.
about the business, and all of that will come later along with whatever you are trying to do. But if you're providing some sort of value to society by the work that you are trying to do, then I think that would be a big win.
Yeah, so true. And it's, I think, the great advice for currently the people are whoever is having work or business, whatever way they are looking for developing their further journey in their career path. I think that's a good approach to see how they can contribute in society by helping others, but same time maybe it can be fruitful for their business or other things as well. So uh, as you shared your life journey, you shared your career, you shared your up and down movements, what advice would you give to the other females or other our audience who are listening and watching us?
I think the only advice is to follow your heart. I don't think there is any other way to live in this world. That is the only way, you will die without regrets. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that is very important. When you come at such a point in your life where you cannot go back and change things, but you can only change things moving forward. So I think today, if you feel like, you want to go out, try something new, do something, you don't be scared. Don't be scared of the uncertainties. I think a lot of people don't initiate themselves and don't do things because they are scared that what would happen. See, but if you don't try, you will never know that what would happen. Honestly, when I started my company and when I started building, things around it, I had this dream in my heart that one day, I even told my dad once that one day I'm going to speak at the United Nations and I will address people and I will tell them that, what it is that they should be doing to bring this awareness for mental health. So I manifested those ideas into reality. 1.5 years later, I was standing in front of a UN convention talking about things, and there were people from all sorts, there on the panel listening to me.
Right.
I mean, so things happen. Things will happen. You have to have that trust in yourself that you can make things happen. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
is the only way to move forward.
Yeah, that's a very strong advice. Just follow your heart and do what you feel right. So, are all beautiful women who, if you are listening, follow this advice and don't find yourself that you are somewhere alone or you are not having any guidance. We are here to help you. And the same way, what is most strong point about your leadership?
I think empathy and core values of humanity are very strongly imbibed in me. I have practiced them myself that, this is the kind of leader that I want to be. A very small example of that. So we were in a training session. I was in a training session with some of my psychologists on board. And one of them, had a small baby. She has like a 3-month-old baby, right?
Right.
Now she was sitting, see, currently we are all online. We're all working
Right.
online, right?
Yeah.
So she was sitting in the training session. The baby was sleeping. So now suddenly in the middle of the session, the baby starts crying so loudly. Okay, so everybody went quiet. Then like what happened? And then she muted herself because obviously she realized that she's disturbing the entire, we had 50
Panel.
psychologists on board.
Right.
Right. So we had 50 psychologists in training. Then I said to her, I said, so we were, the training was going on. It was supposed to be for 3 hours, and already we had completed about an hour or so, a little bit over an hour. So
Mm-hmm.
then I said to, I just addressed her and I said to her that why don't you take out 10-15 minutes and let us all have a break also. And in the meanwhile, you put your baby to sleep again or look after her, like whatever she needs, and then you can come back.
Right.
She appreciated that gesture so much. She goes in the middle of it all. I felt embarrassed that, the baby suddenly started crying and I did not expect her to wake up. And I was like, yeah, but kids are not going to behave according to,
Right.
how we
Right.
want them to behave,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
This is the kind of leader I want to always be. That, I want to understand my people and I want to hold them, support them, and move them, forward with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was one example I could think of when you spoke about leadership. So yeah.
That's definitely inspiring. And when we are talking about your work, so what are your future plans for your work, or what kind of impact you would like to leave for our coming generations?
I think the most important thing I want to do is bring an educational revolution in the entire world, not just in one country or one nation. Like I said earlier, that I'm a global person, I'm a global figure. So I would like to see to it that the values of humanity and the core values, if you remember about our Gurukuls in the past generations, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
what did they teach about first? They taught about discipline. They taught about empathy. They taught about humanity. They taught about compassion, kindness, looking after each other. All of those values were imbibed into us, when we were like 5, 6 years old in those Gurukul times that I'm talking about. I think I think value based education is the need for the future. See,
Mm.
because again, a small example, that currently the scenario that we are in, not many people have come forward to help. If you see in India right now, the percentage of people who have recovered from COVID is also very high. Out
Mm.
of that percentage, even if 10% of people come forward to donate their plasma, then also we can have the recovery rates of people who are dying. We can save them actually. But people are not coming forward. You see? So this is the kind of society we are in. Again, a
Mm.
small example. Yesterday, when we went to get the food kits, when we went to get the ready-made food, yeah, so we distributed about 100 ready-made food kits, ready-made foods to a lot of people outside. So when I went to place the order with the guy, with the restaurant guy, we were paying them, right? It was not for free.
Right.
And
Right.
so, for example, with one paratha, they would give the raita as well, the chutney as well. So few accompaniments along with the main meal kind of
Right.
thing, right?
Right.
So what he told me, you are only distributing this, so why do you need the accompaniments? And I got so frustrated. I was so annoyed. I was pissed off. And I said, we are paying you, right? And what do you mean whether I'm distributing or not? Your job is to give me,
Right.
whatever you are giving in a meal.
Yeah.
How does it matter whether it is 100 plates or whether it is 5 plates? It does not
Mm.
matter.
Yes.
So why are you not being true to your ethics,
Yeah. Why you are giving judgment about just we are distributing or we are eating? It's about whether I am eating or you are eating. We all are at the end human,
You
and
give
we
a
need to
full
be
meal, right?
treated
Yeah, you,
properly.
you give a
Yeah.
full meal, exactly. Just because I want to distribute it doesn't mean that, a few things are not there. It's okay. I mean,
Mm.
why is it okay? There
Right.
are no ethics left in society, Shashi, and it really bothers me. It
Mm.
bothers me to the core that, first of all, in this lockdown times, you are getting business.
Mm.
When I'm ordering 100 plates for him, I'm paying him for those 100 plates, right? So, first of all, in these lockdown times, restaurants are closed, there is nobody outside on the roads. In
Right.
those times, I'm coming and bringing you business, but still, you are trying to also con me on that. You're trying to kind of say that no, these things are not needed, so forget about it. Why? So this is the basic problem in the mindset. This is the problem in the society, and I think this is what we want to address, that have some ethics, have some values.
Mm.
have some of your own values. That is what is lacking in the society. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that is the need for the future, that we are trying to build a youth now who will actually be empowered in a lot of ways, so that they see one person can empower 10 others.
Right.
That is the idea you know
Mm-hmm.
so that is the kind of community that we want to build for tomorrow.
I think it's a very beautiful idea, and I wish you all the very best to get all the success to
Thank you.
develop that kind of society, that kind of youth, and the work which you are doing. So, Mansi, you are doing great job. Thank you so much for sharing all. Last, how you find the platform or the work as Women Dialogue is doing is important.
Beautiful question. I think very, very important, because our job as women, is to raise awareness and is to support another women. I think
Mm.
there is also a lot of stigma when it comes to women supporting women, because it does not happen a lot. And because, I mean, it's like, few rotten seeds would kind of destroy the entire crop. It's that kind of thing. That is, some
Mm-hmm.
people are not good. That does not mean that the entire community is such. But
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, we are labeled as such, that women are not going to support women, and
Mm-hmm.
women are jealous in nature, women are not supportive of each other, women try to pull each other down. All of this happens as well. I am not disagreeing to that, but the fact that such platforms exist, where you bring up women and so beautifully take them through their journey and talk to them about it, and um, it's like two people trying to inspire a few others, right? So this is empowerment, this is true women empowerment, what you have created here. So I congratulate you on this platform, and very well done, very good job. And I think it takes a lot of courage, and it takes also a lot of a big heart actually, to come here to talk to other women who are doing good work, and to try to congratulate them and support them. That also requires a big heart. So Shashi, you have a big heart, and I love that about you.
Thank you, Mansi. Beautifully you explained and you beautifully quote about your feelings, about the society, about the mindset of people, and hearing me, it made me really empowered. It made me really happy that our purpose and mission is reaching out the way we are trying to create in a globally. Uh, I would like to share one thing. Actually, when you was talking about the society, and we celebrated International Women Day in March, and since if you see already we are blessed and we feel ourselves blessed to have all beautiful speaker as more than 40 countries
Yeah,
participants
yeah,
and speaker have taken part as well. So when we as a two women are talking, yes, there is a lot of things. Some culture will say jealousy, some will say a rotten piece, some will say gossip, some will say bitch bite, a lot of things, lot of word, right?
yeah,
And my experience with 40 countries speakers and this beautiful speaker, I found no, we are not just talking, we are not just doing what we are doing, we are not gossiping. So my quote, I created myself a statement on International Women Day to share globally, and it got shared thousands of times. And I will share with you as well, or maybe with this channel you can see that women don't do gossip. Women talk to each other to create beautiful life for themselves and for coming generations. They are not gossiping, they are not just doing just, oh this, no, sharing your life, sharing your experiences. You are here, you are giving the vision to others. You are creating a vision for other many women who find themselves in the same situation, but they don't have voice. What you are doing, you are placing their voice by speaking out loud on coming on this platform. So thank you, Mansi. Thanks a lot for becoming a part of this again and again. I would like to just say congratulate you to your mission, to your work. Keep going on, we all are with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Shashi. Thank you so much. Many congratulations to you as well. Beautiful platform, and I had such a great time with you. Didn't feel like, we are on a channel, we are trying to kind of say something. It's just a pleasant conversation that I'm having with a friend. So, thank you so much for being so friendly, and many congratulations again. Keep going, and I will keep supporting you and listening to all the women out here on this platform as well. It is inspiring. These are like short stories which you are creating and which you are putting out there for the world to see, that women are a lot more than you rightly just said, than just gossiping, or then just talking, or bitching, or backbiting, or whatever you want to call it. We are a lot more than that, and people who cannot see that, they need some glasses. So that's all.
Thank you. And thanks to all our audience and listeners for watching and listening. I'll see you next time with new episode, with new speaker, with for more motivation, more inspiration. Till then, take care. And if you would like to get connect with Mansi, her details are available in the description as well. Till then, take care. Bye bye.